Hello. Welcome to this week's episode of Creatrix Conversations. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is going to be a really tender and important topic that I'm speaking about today, which is the sister wound and social media, and how these two are interacting and existing for us in our lives today in the 21st century. And this is it's an important topic for me personally, but it's also very prevalent for many, many women today. So I'm looking forward to opening the box, Pandora's box, potentially on this topic. And I'm also looking forward to hearing the conversations that this sparks and hearing from you and in the comments and otherwise. So, first of all, if you don't know me, my name is Flora Ware, and I am a spiritual life and business coach and moon circle priestess. And Creatrix Conversations is my weekly live stream show where I discuss mindset, marketing, and magic for spiritual entrepreneurs and executive leaders to activate their own inner wisdom and make a bigger impact and a bigger income. And so part of that, you wouldn't always necessarily think of it, but part of making a bigger impact and a bigger income often involves healing work and shadow work. And so that's why I'm bringing forward this topic today. And it's also inspired by the work I do with the Moon Magic Sisterhood. Moon Magic Sisterhood is my membership program, and I'm hosting a big event next Friday, July 13th. And there's some amazing cosmic alignments with Friday the 13th and the Divine Feminine. And I'll be sharing more about that at the end of the broadcast. But if that piques your interest, check out what the Moon Magic Sisterhood is about. And I will be dropping the link for the 13th Moon Circle event that is happening next Friday. So healing the sister wound is a big part of the work that we are doing as women whenever we get together with women. So whether it's in person or it is in the virtual space. And shadow work is so important so that we heal the wounded parts of ourselves, and then that allows us to shine our full radiance, fully shine our soul's light. And it can be scary. I will grant that. It is scary sometimes to do the shadow work, to really look at the depths of your soul. But we all, I think, feel that we need the healing, the nudges of the healing that we are. So, and actually, if you're watching the replay, I love it if you say hi. And for anyone watching, have you heard of this concept before, of the sister wound? Just drop that in the comments. Is this sister wound a new concept for you, or if it's something that you've already been working with? I'd love to know. To define it, the sister wound is a term that describes the common feelings of jealousy, judgment, comparison, and competition between women. Not so great, right? But it's insidious, it's deep, it's prevalent. And so we are all working with this sister wound. Good morning, Shauna. So now in the digital age, in the internet age, we are all willing guinea pigs in this experiment, if you will, of how this plays out in a virtual forum. It's really interesting, and we don't yet know the effects of this on ourselves, on our psyches, on our souls. So yeah, thanks, Shauna. So what does the sister wound look like in 2018 compared to 200 years ago, 2,000 years ago? Kind of different, right? At least on the outside, the packaging is different. Probably at its core, the essence, very, very similar. So to elaborate further about how I'm personally seeing this topic come up and how I see it for others, I'll share a few examples and get really vulnerable with you here. So one one negative experience that I had in recent months was that I had a new woman join my group, which is like my big Awaken the Goddess Within group. And I make it a point when I can to send a friend request to new women that join the group, but I don't always, because it does get busy and there's over 1,500 women in there. But that's part of me being the host of this forum online space. However, in this case, this woman and I were already friends, so I didn't even need to make that extra step. And I saw that she had joined right before I was leading a 5-day feminine business archetype training back in February. So I falsely assumed, and this is where I'm owning my own mistake here, I falsely assumed that she had signed up for my free 5-day training on feminine business archetypes, because she joined the group in the week before, literally I think like a few days before it started, at the same time as I saw, hundreds of other women joining for that training at that time. So then the five days went by. And then the following week after that, I was following up with everybody, right? Hello to who's ever watching, say hi. And let me know if you are experienced with this concept of the sister wound, or if this is a new concept with you, because I'm talking about how social media and the sister wound are playing out and how we are all part of this experiment. And I'm sharing a personal story right now. So I reached out as I was doing with lots of women, saying, hello, thanks again for participating in the feminine business archetype training, just following up with everyone. Welcome to the group. Also, I know you're new. Do you have any questions, or do you have anything? And her response was immediately a bit of a defensive. She said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember signing up for any training. And so then I thought, oh, okay. And then I responded with, oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I got that wrong. I saw that you joined the group at the same time, right before the training that I did last week. So I'm just following up with everyone, keeping it friendly. And then she said something, she said something else about, well, this doesn't feel very good to me. And I was like, what do you mean? So then in an effort, I tried to remind her of the connections that we already had, like the few mutual friends that we had. And maybe that was, again, I didn't need to go there, but I was like, oh, well, like, it's okay. It must have been my mix up. You just joined at the right time. I was like, we're already connected, right? Through so-and-so and so-and-so. And like, I'm in your group. I've been following you for a while. It's great. We do similar work. And then she's like, I really am not like, I really am this is feeling really off for me, and I'm not liking that. And I will be leaving your group right away. Like she actually immediately got aggressive with me. And so of course my heart's just sinking at this point, and I feel like, oh no, right? Like I'm being triggered, she's being triggered, and my ego of course is like, no, I want to make sure that she knows that like she's got me all wrong, and there I don't have any ulterior motive. I was just trying to connect, and like, right? This freaking out. Well, not only that, she left my group and she kicked me out of her group and blocked me from her group. Now, to her credit, she unfriended me, but she didn't block me. And I say to her credit because I really felt like, that wasn't necessary. But she unfriended me, she kicked me out of her group, blocked me from her group, left my group, and it was all a total misunderstanding. So there we were, both having our sister wounds triggered. I got to experience again what it was like to feel misunderstood and rejected. And she apparently needed to have the experience of what it was like feeling that someone was out for something with her, right? That I had an ulterior motive. And for some reason that that was the experience that she needed to have. And somehow that was the experience that I needed to have. And, you know, there's a part of me, of course, that still wishes that she knew that she had me wrong and that I wasn't out for anything and that I'm a good person and I'm nice. You know, there's all these parts. Yeah, it is crazy, Shauna. But I also realized that I really just needed to let it go and not go to that ego level trying to defend myself. So that was a more negative example. And I do say negative also because it's unresolved, right? It wasn't resolved. She wasn't open to further communication and to really clearing the air and having a discussion. And so, and it felt that there was some aggression and there was some unfriending, and that's why I say it negative. Now, another way that recently for me, the sister wound and social media has come together was thankfully a more positive experience, but not initially. I received a message from a woman, again, from my bigger goddess group, who very maturely and very carefully expressed in her message that essentially she felt that I was plagiarizing her, work, and that I had potentially copied her idea, stolen her ideas. She didn't use those words. She didn't use steal. She didn't use plagiarism. She didn't use copying. Like I said, she very maturely, very carefully expressed this in a message to me that she was feeling uncomfortable because of what she saw was that she had shared something with me and then right away I was kind of sharing about something, you know? And again, my heart sank. And I wanted to reach out and I wanted to, clear the air and say, oh my goddess, thank you so much for reaching out to me and not just assuming and not just staying quiet and not just unfriending me and quietly hating on me. I thanked her. I immediately started with gratitude. And then I also very gently and carefully explained that no, in no way was I copying her idea. In fact, the content that I'd been putting out and the what I'd been working on had been planned from months in advance. And I was, saying, I hope that you can feel the genuine, that I'm being genuine. And, oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah. And so she was open to having a discussion about it. And so was I, because it wasn't that I wanted to make her wrong and make me right, but it was like, oh no, I am so sorry that you are feeling, that you were feeling threatened, that you were feeling that maybe I had, stolen an idea. And of course that wasn't the case. But the way that we communicate with each other really depends on the level of the trigger of our sister wound, right? Thankfully, like I said, we discussed it, we opened it, she got vulnerable, she thanked me, I thanked her again, and we are still Facebook friends, and I continue to support her work. And she has a much more specific focus than I do with my work. So it was a much more positive experience. This is Shauna saying, this is deep and powerful, Flora. I never even realized this wound within myself. Yeah. When we, another way that I often in my life, the sister wound is played out because I moved a lot when I was young, is I was always the third wheel. I was always the third wheel to a pair of girls that were already best friends. And because I was the new girl, I had to try to come in and connect. And so that feeling of rejection or not feeling totally safe in my relationships with women has been something that's played out. And the thing is that I think conceptually, we know that when we shine our light, we give permission to all women to do the same, and that story. And then it's like, but actually that doesn't happen. When we shine our light, we trigger people. And so that trigger is either going to be for them to turn into comparison and jealousy, or that trigger can be a positive one to say, yes, and I see her and what she's accomplishing and creating and how she's shining, and I'm going to rise up too. I'm going to rise up into my potential and shine my light and be inspired and motivated by it, right? So the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. Gertrude Stein, right? So this idea that a rising tide lifts all boats is true, but too often so many people are still in a scarcity mindset, right? They're still in this idea that okay, I'll say it in the positive, that my success means less for you. That me becoming wealthy and successful means that someone else is having less. That's scarcity mindset, that it's finite, right? Whereas, or even just the comparison, she's already doing that, so I can't. She's already doing that, so I can't. So, whatever, I'll leave you with this. Whatever triggers you is a clue. That's it. It's just information. Whatever triggers you is a clue. If you're triggered by the fact that I'm comfortable enough to show up on live video, and that triggers something in you, again, I'm just reaching for an example. There's probably a part of you that you wish that you want to do live video, or you want to do more of it. You want to feel more confident. Or whatever it is. If you see someone that's got a great house and a loving husband and looks really successful in her job and you're feeling jealous and triggered, well, what is that? It's because what you see in her is what you want for yourself, what you know is possible for yourself. Maybe your relationship is not feeling that supportive or that loving. And so you start to notice, seemingly start to notice everyone that has an amazing partner and spouse. It's because you're looking for it subconsciously. So these triggers are a clue. That's it. Just investigate. And that's when we get to the bottom of our sister wound. And again, this experiment that we're on with in social media. So you can discover that for yourself. So in all this, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, healing the sister wound is a big part of the work that I do in my Moon Magic Sisterhood, because we are joining together as sisters to unconditionally love one another, to support one another, to listen to one another, to witness. And then again, you allowing yourself to be seen, to be heard, to be held in an intentional sisterhood. So I'm going to drop the link here for the event, because next Friday, July 13th, I'm hosting a very special new moon circle with all the beautiful alignments that are happening with this new moon in Cancer on Friday the 13th. So I would really love you to check it out. Here's the link. Oops, I don't quite have the link ready. I thought that I did. One moment. So in this circle, we are going to be meditating together. We're going to be doing a new moon ritual. I'm going to be leading a light body activation using sacred geometry and sacred sound. I'm very excited about that. You may or may not know that I'm also a certified sound healer. And so it's only $15. So there's no barrier to joining. $15. No commitment. You can cancel that at any time. So if you really just want to check out the 1 month, yes, come back, Shauna. It's only $15. There's no commitment. You can just check it out for July if you want to, and then cancel it. It's very, very affordable. I would love to have you back in the circle, Shauna. Yeah, there's no barriers to this. It's only, it's very affordable. And we also are going to have a special channeled message as part of the circle from Reiki Master Justine van Wassenaar, who is my soul sister in Amsterdam. So there's so many cosmic alignments, and I'll leave it to you to read more in the event about the significance of Friday the 13th and its connection with the divine feminine. But I really, if anything has been triggered, I'm using that word a lot, if anything's been coming up for you and you're feeling like you intuitively sense that you would really benefit from having this kind of spiritual support. A lot of women say that the Moon Magic Sisterhood is an anchor for their spiritual self-care. We do rituals together, meditate together. You have ongoing reminders for your moon magic manifestation. So it's a really potent and nurturing space in the Moon Magic Sisterhood. And next Friday is a very special day to attend one of the virtual circles. So it's entirely virtual. You can live anywhere and really check it out. Just check it out. Like I said, check it out for a month. Come play. See what it feels like. Because if you don't have an in-person sister circle, then find an online one. And so I'm inviting you and welcoming you into mine. And also part of what we're doing in there is circle facilitation training, so that potentially you will get comfortable enough to start leading your own circles and start your own sisterhood and leading circles in your community, again, whether that's in person or online. So there's a lot that I share in there, and I would love to have you come check it out and be a part of it. So I dropped the link in there. Thank you again. I will get back to all of the comments, because I really want to continue having this conversation about the sister wound and social media, because it's a big one. And I think that we are often unconsciously engaging in these and being triggered and not always understanding why. And if you need the space to share about it and to discuss, then, that's what the spaces that I facilitate and the sacred space that I focalize online. That's what I'm all about. So thank you so much. If you've been inspired, please hit share and share this with your friends so that the conversation can reach even more women about social media and the sister wound. Thank you so much. So much love. Have a beautiful day.